Dear friend, I don't know how to tell you how great things are going now, how we are winning, and how this is going to be an era that you never thought ever even remotely possible. You're going to see people come out of the woodwork. Listen to what I'm saying. People coming out of the woodwork who all of a sudden, and we're seeing it, groups that were lefties, groups that hated Trump, groups that had nothing to do with us, groups that were just absolutely 100% horrible. All of a sudden are paying attention. Why do you think that is? Anybody? Why do you think that is? Tell me. Anybody have an idea? Are you noticing this with friends of yours? You understand what I'm saying? Do you have any idea of what this is saying? Do you have anything? Why do you think? Yeah, let me look at this sound here just for a second. Let me just make sure my sound is groovy. If that's okay, yeah, whatever. Is this coming across all right to you? Why do you think all of a sudden people are paying attention? Why? Why? Tell me. Why do you think? Why do you think all of a sudden people are coming forward and pretending that they've been with us the whole time? Why do you think that is? It's because they realize that everything has changed drastically. They realize that everything has changed absolutely drastically. And they don't understand that we're not going to remember what they've said. They don't understand that we are not going to forget what they've said. You have no idea. They don't know what to do. The left, let me just say this, the left is dead. This, and we're going to get to the subject matter for those individuals who are adherent to the title. And by the way, we have to stop rudeness. I swear to God, I wish I could show you an email I got from somebody who, I don't know what he was. I have no idea. You have no idea the anger. So anyway, so the first issue is we are winning. Rachel Maddow, one of my favorites, who was just falling apart. Nobody's watching this. But here's the question I want to get to. And we'll get to the title for those of you who are title crazy. Would you have turned in Luigi Mangione? Yes or no? Would you have? Think about this. Would you have turned this man in? Yes or no? Think about this. Think about it carefully. Don't just respond. Don't just. Would you? I wouldn't. Nope. Nope. Let somebody else do it. Sorry. Why do you think that is? Why? Because I would have never trusted the media. They would have not done anything to protect me. And some crazy lunatic, maybe some staffer, maybe some intern at Politico, or somebody who knows somebody would have doxed me or let the world know I did it. Or then I've got to fight for the money. You never hear about people getting the money. You never hear. I don't know. I cannot believe people going through having an easy time of this. Would you have done this? No way. And it's a terrible thing to say. It's a terrible thing to say. Because you've got people right now who are so miserable. So miserable. See, I don't believe in anonymously. See, that's the point. I don't believe in it. It goes without saying. $50,000 reward for what? $50,000 award to have your life ruined? $50,000 reward to have your children threatened? For some Antifa guy to teach you a lesson? Some lunatic. Somebody out there wants to be the next. Do it for Luigi. Are you kidding me? Do you think you can trust the media? Hell no. There's no government. Nobody's going to protect you. And then when they find out, well, who is this guy? Oh, this is some Trump supporter. F you. The issue is not, do I think somebody like this should be stopped? The issue is, do I want to risk this? Would I want to risk my family, me, or my... No, I don't trust anything. You don't understand. We're on our own, no matter how great. Things are very, very great. Look. As we speak in New Jersey, they still don't know about these stupid drones. Now, that's another thing, too. I asked a friend of mine last night, I said, do you understand why they brought up Iran? Evan says, our society is too litigious to get involved. Forget the litigious. How about turning me in? Can you imagine this? All of a sudden, your house is in some Reddit, some dark channel, whatever. This is the guy. This is who he is. This is where he works. These are the kids. Hell no. Forget the litigious. I'm not even worried about that. I'm talking about nobody helping you. Let me say this again to you. This is the most important. Nobody is going to help you. You're on your own. We have no police. Let me see if I can tell you something. We can't even figure out what a drone, they can't even send drones up to identify the drones. All of a sudden, this drone, hey, who's this? This is our drone. What is this? These drones are the size of cars. The governor of New Jersey won't even attend a meeting. We are on our own. There is no police. There's no law enforcement. I hope that changes. I like when they say Ray steps down. He's not stepped down. They're going to kick his ass out. Why was Ray put in charge of the FBI? Why? Because of Chris Christie, because Ray helped him out with that Bridgegate stuff or whatever it was. Don't you understand how this thing works? People don't have this. People go a little bit and then they just stop. We have nobody. There is no police. They don't exist. There's nobody to protect you. We're on our own. And now that these radical lefties lost, they're going to get even more brutal. There is an undercurrent. There is a group of people. I hope, tell me you have received. Is everybody here subscribed to the newsletter? Is everyone subscribed to the newsletter? Is everyone? I just put one out, which one of the best. It's so fascinating about MK Ultra and Kaczynski and the differences. Do you remember this? Are you subscribed? Make sure you are subscribed. And if you don't get it, check your spam or whatever it is. This is the most beautiful thing. I know people who still think MK Ultra was a joke. They think it's some kind of a joke. They don't understand. I don't know what it is. It's fascinating. I'm not going to make something up just because it sounds good. I'm telling you, it's the God's honest truth. It's real. This is the most important thing in the world. This is a story that is so important and so critical. I don't even know how to put it into detail. It is so important and so critical. Let me tell you something. It's going to be great. I think it's terrific that Trump won, obviously. I think everything's terrific. I think everything's groovy. I'm all for that stuff. But I got to tell you something. There is something very, very weird about this. Let me give you a good one. There was a wonderful piece. Let me see if I can get this. Remember, I mentioned Sidney Gottlieb, right? And there was a wonderful also piece from The Intercept about Louis Jolion West. In 2019, there was a great Intercept, and I quoted in my piece about he used chemicals as hypnosis and in his medical practice, leading to the death of a child, the execution of an innocent man. I mean, they have been doing this forever. That's the thing which is the most important. Let me give you a couple of things here. We got a lot to talk about, so let me see if I can get this out. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is it. Now, here's a great line, by the way, from Aldous Huxley. I love this. Morality is always the product of terror and panic. Its chains and straitjackets are fashioned by those who dare not trust others, because they do not dare to trust themselves, to walk in liberty. Oh my God. I'm walking around and everything makes sense to me. I'm in the sense of, oh, I get it. I understand it. Let me talk about this Mangione fellow for a moment. This is important. There's a great piece today, and I cite it from Courageous Discourse. I think it's John Leake. And John Leake references a 2023 article that occurred in the Washington Post. And it said, before he was a Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski was a mind control test subject. Listen to this. Kaczynski entered Harvard University as a 16-year-old, 16, on a scholarship, after skipping the 6th and 11th grade. It was there that he was subjected to an experiment run by Harvard psychologist Henry A. Murray that was backed by the Central Intelligence Agency. Though he graduated with a mathematics degree, later completing a doctorate in the field before becoming a professor, questions remain over whether or to what extent he was affected by the experiment, which reportedly involved mock interrogations in which participants' beliefs were harshly disparaged. Murray's study was widely reported to be part of a CIA program codenamed Project MKUltra, inspired by the use of mind control techniques on the U.S. prisoners of war in Korea by the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea. The program sought to understand how to control subjects' minds, sometimes using substances such as LSD, according to a CIA document made publicly available in 2018. There has not been evidence to suggest LSD or similar substances were used at Harvard on Kaczynski. Okay. CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of many files related to MKUltra. Nevertheless, Kaczynski disclosed some of his apparent involvement in the study in correspondence from prison with Professor Alston Chase. Now, what you have to understand is you have to read his manifesto. And this is the most interesting thing. And let me just say something. What I am telling you involves a subject that you will find interesting, but you will never hear ever being discussed on Fox News. I want you to understand this. I want you to grasp this. We're on the front lines of this. I'm never going to go so far out as to accept everything, but I am telling you, if you do not understand what is happening now, if you do not grasp the significance of this, you are making the biggest mistake of your life, because the evidence is there. It's absolutely there. There was a fellow, this Ken Klippenstein, has a couple of points, which is very interesting regarding the manifesto. And the manifesto that he said, and he publishes it, and there's a link to it in the newsletter. And I think he called it To the Feds. Now remember, Kaczynski was interesting. Ted Kaczynski was a childhood prodigy. And how and why he was driven to commit homicidal acts, that he, a man of exceptional intelligence, more than this kid was okay. He was a valedictorian of a high school. how do you explain how somebody would have lost that connection to rational thought? When he writes about industrial society and its failure, his 35,000 word manifesto compared to this little thing that Luigi did. This is an exact reproduction of the document. Listen to this that he wrote. This is the words of him. And again, Klippenstein says it. To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some staging, straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the U.S. has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank number 42 in life expectancy. United is the largest company in the U.S. by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but as our life expectancy, no reality is, and he goes on, and it's sad. He talks about the feds and states, and you can read. You just spend some time if you want to delve into this. I don't want to give it too much time to make it sound like it's worth more than it is. But if you're going to sit back and you're going to do a show, and again, I'm going to say it, if you're OAN that just hired Matt Gaetz, if you're Newsmax, you've got to keep it so basic. Don't go into this. Go into menticide. Go into this. Here's something. The guy you've got to read is Just A.M. Mirloo. This is the book. Meerloo. The book is called The Rape of the Mind, The Psychology of Thought Control, Menticide, and Brainwashing. Remember this. He who dictates and formulates the words and phrases we use, he who is master of the press and radio, is master of our mind. This is why it's so important to grasp how we work in concert with trying to destroy this leftist media machine. This is important. This is serious stuff. And sometimes we may laugh at, well, that's that crazy Joy Reid and, whatever that. Oh, no. This is serious business. This is absolutely important. Look at this. Take some personal responsibility for once, you losers. Instead of blindly blaming healthcare system for everything, consider eating healthy and exercising. This misses the point. You missed the point completely. You've missed the point completely. We're losers. You've missed the point. I sometimes I look up and I read what you write. It's like, are you serious? Are you paying attention to any of this? Is that Edie? Bless her heart, Edie. We love our beautiful book and artwork is right here. And Autumn sent a gift. Thank you. See, I don't think people really understand it. Let me try this. This is the most important. We don't know when to read this, but this is so funny. I want to read this again. Take some personal responsibility for once, you losers. Instead of blindly blaming healthcare system for everything. No. The issue is, let me see if I can explain this. Dear God. The issue is people who were saying that our health would be better if you get cancer. if there's something, if you need if you have some mitral valve prolapse, you can't exercise, and eating healthily isn't going to help. This is how people, do you see what this is? This is anger unfocused. This I want to yell and scream. I'm not listening to the issue. I don't understand the issue, but I will be heard. I will be heard. Pilgrim says, you just increased my reading list. Oh, there's so much out there. If Luigi is convicted, is a mistrial likely? No. Because if he's convicted, there was no mistrial. A new trial, an appeal, maybe. Oh, he's going to be convicted. There's no. But see, this is the thing which is most important. We have people who really don't understand. How about this? How about stop paying for illegals' health care? Running to the emergency room and getting taken in before us. That's another issue. That's another issue. That's something which is interesting. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. You understand this? And I find it very interesting that the guy who's talking about healthcare is caught at a McDonald's. That's all. Vika says, Hungary is ready to act as a link between East and West in a new reality, the Prime Minister has said. Okay. Max Vogan, excuse me, I thought I said vegan, pardon me. I don't know what that means anything. Explain why transitional surgery and pills are considered medicine and are not denied treatment. I don't know. Again, transitional stories, nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. Do you think this has anything to do with healthcare? Do you think that Ted Kaczynski had anything to do with new technology? No. That might be what he made the reason for this. It could also be perhaps music. Maybe there's a morality person. Maybe like in some countries, he's upset. He shot somebody because, let's say, he doesn't like somebody who works for Vogue magazine because Vogue is promoting transgenderism and he's a right-wing whatever. I can come up with some crazy thing. That's not the issue. The issue is, where did this crazy come from? Not the underlying basis for the crazy. Evan says, this is a whole corporate system out to suck us dry. So much more is going on. If you have seen behind the curtain, you might see clearer. This is nothing. Look at this. Lionel misses the point. Luigi was frustrated with his denial of treatment for back pain. No. Why did he kill someone? That's not it. It's a very valid point. He is one of the richest people. It doesn't really matter. Why did he shoot someone? Why did he go after someone? Remember Citizen Q or whatever this Denzel Washington thing? It's an old theory. Ted Kaczynski had a lot of good points, but he blew people up. Galertner, one of the greats, who, by the way, at Yale, computer scientist, who was one of the advocates who are now declaiming the idea of Darwin, where he says they're punctuated equilibrium is ridiculous. He's a group of what's his name? Not Burns. Anyway, he's a group of this triad of scientists who were suggesting that God may be the motivator, maybe the impetus behind evolution. He had his hand almost blown off. No, I'm not missing the point. You're focusing on whether he had a point, or you're focusing on the direction. Everybody has a point, unless it's so psychotic. Kaczynski had a point. There are people who say maybe there's immorality. They've got a point. The point is, how do you go from that to tracking somebody down and shooting them? Do you understand this? This is we got to start with this. Let me see. You do know it's not about health care, whether his claim was denied. You understand that, right? That's not it. It's not it. That's not it. Read the person who writes things down. Since the beginning of time, I told you, when I worked for a U.S. senator, we had somebody from the Secret Service or somebody came in and they explained to us, here's what you've got to be looking for when you get these letters in. One of them is the handwritten, then the underline, and then different colored ink and writing in the margins, meaning they've looked at it, they've read it again, they perseverated. It's not the message. It's not the focus of the message. It's not it. Unless they're saying I'm hearing, angels speak to me. This is the point. This is so critical. Here we go. Disillusioned, Gen Z pissed off at the world not being able to have sex. What does this mean? What? We're not talking about incels here. This is, I'm fascinated. See, there's three parts of it. There's the story, actually four. There's the story, there's the media reaction, and then there's your reaction. And I'm fascinated by, is this what you got from this? Do you really think this? Do you really honestly think this is the most incredible thing in the world? Now, aside from that, and this is also important, we have this Tish who thinks she's the commissioner. She thinks they found casings. Now, I cannot find anybody or any story that explains, what do you mean casings? If I find a shell, the brass, the casing, at the site of the murder, which came when the round was ejected by virtue of this thing, when it's ejected, and this is important, when it's ejected, what am I matching? It was a 9mm. He had a 9mm. Okay, so maybe, you mean that? Is it how the firing pin perhaps might have, maybe there's, that doesn't qualify for a ballistics. Is it because maybe the casings had writing? Is he stupid enough? Is he stupid enough to? Ted Kaczynski, they couldn't find him at all. It was the sister-in-law, I think, who read this stuff and said, wait a minute, this guy's writing notes, he's doing all this. Nobody even knew. In fact, when people were getting this, Kaczynski, they kept saying, who are these? Who's sending this? Not him. He tells you exactly. Oh, it's this guy. And it's because of, okay. And he's not very smart because people are saying how brilliant he was. That's not it. But the point is, what makes somebody go, whoa? We have 330 billion people in this country. We have people who have been denied health care, acceptance of school, admission, Social Security claims. They've had problems with DMV, administrative, they can't get their cable. There's all kinds of frustration. What is it that made this person go to the shooting? You understand this? And this is so let's make sure we look at this. I don't think that people are understanding that forget the obvious. It's the other things that are important. Now, let me explain something to you, another aspect of this. Right now, dear friends, and I say this to you right now, this is so important. And I can't say this enough to you, but it is Christmas time. And there are two things to think about. First, there is one of the best stories ever. And that is Prepare with Lionel has the absolute best deal ever. their Christmas 4-week supply. This was the Black Friday. I thought, well, they're going to take this one down and, maybe it's not going to be here. Oh, no. This is the best. This is the best one. A 4-week emergency food supply. This is 28 days for $187. 28 days, 2,000 calories a day. With these 4-layer pouches, oxygen that are reusable and water-resistant buckets. I mean, you can go to Costco. God bless Costco. You can get an MRE here, and you can stack them up, and that's terrific. This is the Cadillac, the Bugatti, the McLaren, the Aston Martin. This is it. Preparewithlionel.com. Bar none. Seriously. I don't normally get excited about this stuff because they're very good deals. Not like this. This one's it. And then mypillow.com. More deals than you can imagine. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Just go and just put mypillow.com/Lionel and see for yourself, and you will be absolutely mesmerized. They've got classic collections, price buster deals, Christmas specials, closeouts, overstocks, you name it. Flannel sheets, bathrobe, dog beds, pet blankets. It's endless, okay? Let me just tell you, now is the time, dear friend. Pay attention to this. Now, this is the part which is the most important. So we started off with this thing. Let me see if I can do this. You do realize we are not questioning why he supposedly did this, right? Do we understand this? You understand this? You understand this? I like Richard Borg says, why are people not serious? Why so many still sleeping? Are they frequent? Most of us, 5G engineering, whatever. I love this. Some of the stuff, and I know you write very quickly, some of the stuff, I swear to you, if I took what you wrote and wrote it on a mirror, a bathroom mirror and lipstick, people would think it's George, who's it, Majeski, whatever, the Mad Bomber. This is just incredible. I like this one. A supposed advantage of knowledge acts upon a crowd comparatively steeped soporifically in desires that can't be affected. Yes, soporifically, as in sleep-inducing. Now, let me stop right here. Anybody following the Diddy Jay-Z thing? I know. That's beneath you, right? Right? What's the big deal, right? Anybody following that? Are you seeing what's happening? Do you know where this is going? If all of a sudden the top people, Jay-Z, Diddy, Fiddy, Shitty, Diddy, Middy, whoever these people, if all of a sudden this, and then Oprah, and then Kevin Hart, and then Cat Williams and Monique, if you see this explosion of this, do you know what this does? Remember what we said. Remember the quote. Remember the quote from Mirlu, Juiced Mirlu. Look at this. Here's one thing. Advertising symbolizes the art of making people dissatisfied with what they have. The fear of freedom is the fear of assuming responsibility. What counts in any man is the consistency and integrity of his behavior and his courage in taking a stand, not his conformity to official dogma. Well, we would hope, but that's not what's going on. If I went and I were to say, if this one is charged and this one is struck down and this one, and if I unleash, if I were to go right now, do you have any idea what these people represent to young Black folks around the country? If I take the cornerstones of their Jay-Z, Beyonce, this is to folks, not just Black kids, but people in the business. This is their hero. This is it. Not sports people, not Muhammad Ali, not Bob Dylan. No. If I went and I do this, do you know what this means? If I say, guess what? Every one of them, all of them were skeeves. Null hypothesis, thank you. Lionel runs his live stream like a Harvard Law School course. Don't say Harvard. I do believe that there is something which is fascinating, and that is that there is a depth to the story. Let me go back to you. Let's assume, and I'm not saying this true because they have the right to they have a presumption of innocence and all this stuff. But if all of a sudden I said Jay-Z, pederast, Diddy, paraphile, hebophile, ephebophile, chronophile, predator, criminal, taking people and enslaving them, that the entire model from R. Kelly to just one disgusting violence. And then I get the black churches. And you thought Chuck Berry was a perv? Well, he was. Nothing like this. Nothing. Do you know what happens? Let me try this again to you. If I could say, guess what, young America, all these people that you thought in New York. Now, remember, I'm not saying this. But this is their whole world destroyed. Now, why is that important? I'll tell you why that's important. Remember, what do you replace it with? You see, whenever they talk about Syria, this is my favorite. And this is the oldest trick in the book. I'm giving this as an example. When you remove Assad, the question is not whether you remove him, who comes in. This new feller has a $10 million bounty on his head. And now we're supporting him. Okay. So the question is not that it's Assad, who comes in and replaces him? Let's assume, going back to this is why this is important. Jay-Z, this is in our, how do we say this? In our world, when music really mattered. I don't think anybody realizes it. If Taylor Swift, if the Swifties found out that their beloved Taylor Swift was a predator or some kind of a witch or somebody who performed vivisection and she was this Wiccan overlord who enslaved people would not be able to sleep. You have no idea how big this is. It's like, what? This is the only thing they knew. So then you have this, and there was this $1 billion. The music, it's not so much the music, but the personalities mean almost as much than we love. Yeah, the music's okay, but the personality. Oh, this is huge. So this is going on right now. And the best part is that Diddy is to look at these people. They may be smart business, but look at this. I mean, not Diddy, Jay-Z. He looks like a jadrol. Okay, but this is the guy who says, let me ask you something. When asked, are you responsible for any kind of attack or any kind of a violation of a person? Instead of saying no, he wants to know, well, who was it? Who was there? Who saw me? Excuse me, that's not, I don't know who's running the show here. I have no idea who's running the show. But anyway, you just keep an eye on that. And let me come in and let me destroy your heroes. Let me destroy your heroes. Let me show you how the people that you have believed in, the people that you needed, the people that you believed in for all these years. Let me explain to you also something which is very important. Donald Trump represents something bigger than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is another story. Crypto says, I love this point about who and what to replace with, such as we need to talk through for a year who takes after the beloved Trump. Oh, yes. We'll get to that one later, but you're right about that. Donald Trump was named Man of the Year. And you know who also makes this possible? Elon Musk. Now let me say something here. This is what bothers people. And if you remember this, if you're my age, and all of us remember Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan is still that was the show of shows. Not just show. And now it's Colbert's studio, but we walk by this Ed Sullivan studio all the time. And there it is. And in that studio, in that place, the Ed Sullivan studio, I took a tour one time. Underneath the stage, they have these braces because they were bringing like elephants, and it's a very small studio. It's very small. This is what Letterman was in and the whole bit. To make a long story short, my friend, there was a guy named Eric Bren, and I'll never forget this. And there was a guy who spun the plates, and he came out and he did this, he's spinning the plates thing. And it was the greatest thing in the world. I thought, wow, this is so terrific. How does he do that? How does he do that? How does he do that? How is he? This is fantastic. How does he do it? Anyway, I realized that's life. That's life. That's the story of my life. Spin this plate and this plate and this plate, and they all kind of interrelate. This isn't just one thing or one thing only. This life isn't about the couch on Fox News. You're missing the point. It's this incredible. Did you read this new thing about quantum computing? This will blow your mind. Is it Google with this new AI with this quantum, what's called Willow? Or oh my God, I can't even. Oh, there is a calculation. Listen to this, a calculation that using conventional. Let me read this for you. This will blow your mind. Listen to this one. This is, by the way, Jay-Z with that stupid, whatever the dreadlocks looks like. And some people can carry it off. Bob Marley could. Jay-Z, not so much. And how about this Caitlyn? I'm so sick of her. And I learned from the black people. Shut up. By the way, best meme ever from this Being Libertarian. Follow me on Lionel Media on X. It says, government response to unknown drones. Government response to adopted squirrels. They're going crazy. But let me bring this to you. Let me see. Where is this one? This one fact about the septillion years. This blows my. Here we go. Check out Kevin Joey Chen. Okay. While everyone watches AI, Google broke time itself. Their quantum chip solved a problem that would outlast the universe in 5 minutes. Listen to this one. There was the task was a problem called the random circuit sampling benchmark. It would take the world's fastest computers 10 septillion years to solve. The number of years the universe has existed, 13.8 billion. 10 septillion is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 21 with 25 zeros after it, okay? It would take 10 septillion years. Google Willow solved it in 5 minutes. Do you understand what I just said to you? Are you ready for this? You think Ainsley's going to be covering this? I don't think so. We're looking at the potential for computing for this one particular problem that would take 10 septillion years. And this new Willow did it in 5 minutes. Just the numbers. And the thing is let me explain to you the problem that we have. We don't have people who sit back and just say, wow. You know what Joe Rogan does better than anybody else? The one thing Joe Rogan does, well, not just one thing, but one of the things, he sits back and he shows you what it's like to say, wow. Wow. When was the last time you said, wow? Wow. Think about it. Tell me, birth of a baby, sunset, the existence of God, UFOs, drones. It doesn't matter. When did you, there's two things that the humans do. One of them is the epiphany moment where you say, I got it. I figured it out. That's one thing. But the other one is something else. When did you last say, wow? That's unbelievable. Wow. I love this. Charlie says, what happened to 9? Charlie, you're right. I normally do 9, but today we had something I got to do at 9, so we had to do it at 8. But thank you very much. I like this one. When was the last time you said, wow? Have you ever looked and thought about how did they make the pyramids? They can't tell you. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. In Israel, at the Temple Mount, you know, the hotel, the Wailing Wall, you put a piece of paper with a prayer. There's no room. You're like putting this thing. How did they even that? And that's nothing compared to this. The Easter Islands and I mean, what is going on here? This is the thing I can't teach people enough. It's the wow. And what we do is social media want to give you the immediate. They should call it social immediate versus social media or immediate. I like that. I'm going to write that. That was a bit serendipitous just now. Social immediate. I like that. Because we just want to say something. Say something. Don't say something. Just say something. Like, LOL, emoji. Say something. Like it. Say it. Like it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Say it. It's they don't even love it. So my mind is blown. I would love, I know you're gonna think this is crazy. I would love to represent Luigi. Just to see, like, can I jam this up? What's the one connective tissue thing that's missing? What's the one thing I can tell a jury that makes them say, wait a minute, you're right about that. I don't know what this gun is. Where's the gun? What is this? Okay, he had this. You know what? He's full of shit. He writes stuff down. He has a manifesto. He hates this. Okay, guess what? Excuse me. We ask UnitedHealthcare, how many threatening letters do they get? And Aetna and AARP. And how about the Social Security Office themselves? And phew. So there's nothing new about this. He's not the only guy who threatened this. Why do you think these people had bodyguards? Why? Not because of him. So then you disabuse them, you disconnect them from the idea that he's the only one out there who would do this. Nonsense. He's not the only person. I want you to sit back for a moment and think very, very carefully, because there's also something which is very scary. And I've told you this before. The number of kids, speaking of young people in particular, who are up to their necks. And not only that, people who are freaking out over debt. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even help negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. My friends, I hope that what I've done is given you the chance to think about things in ways you never thought. I want you to be able to think and to focus on just in aspects that nobody really allows you to think, because frankly, you're too busy. You're too busy. You're too busy doing your thing for you to figure out what exactly how are you supposed to work through this? Remember, the story about Mangione, what they're missing is so much better than, yes, why he was upset. We know that. We are not stupid. But let's go deeper than that, okay? Great. Let me also say, Crypto Domini, thank you so much. Evan, Raul, and Pilgrim, thank you so much for this. We will be back tonight at 7. I'm going to be doing, like I said, I think this 9 o'clock works, 8 o'clock, we'll see. But make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Make sure you are subscribed, because if you are not, all of this is for naught. 87% of the people who watch us are not subscribed, and they're unsubscribed. I don't know what the story is, so make sure you are. Make sure you're also subscribed to the newsletter and check your spam buckets and files, because today on MK Ultra is. And your friends are going to look at you like you're some kind of a nut. Well, let them think that. All right, my friends, don't forget Lionel Nation, Lionel Legal, and don't forget Lynn's Warriors. All right, my friends, see you tonight. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.